Hello guys, here I am again with my weekly power rankings. We're now in week 2. Week 2 is just finished and yeah, I'm uploading my week 2 power rankings right now about for the PBA. And I say this every video and I keep saying it, it's totally opinionated. It's my opinion. If you don't agree with me, feel free to discuss down in the comment section or hit me up on Skype if you know me. So, yeah, let's just dive right into it and let's see what happened this week. On number 12, we still have the San Francisco Charizard. I don't have much to say about this because his Skype was acting up. He didn't got on Skype before the deadline, and he had unfortunately to take a trio forfeit loss. So yeah, that's like everything I have to say about the Charizard. Then on number 11, we still have the Australian Avalux. The Australian Avalux, he's played his match. He played it against what I rated as the number 1 guy in the league at the moment, and he lost 3-0. And because of this lose, I didn't really move him up because some other guys did better this week than him. He still has to prove himself with this team for me. I don't really believe in the team at the moment. I hope he proved me wrong. And yeah, it was just in his match he had a lot of protect on his mons, and I get it. It's for the high jump kick from Mega Lopunny, but don't run protect on all your mons. Also, he fought with Escavalier that he could pursue trap the Cofagrigus, but he didn't put any speed EVs in his Escavalier, so it didn't outspeed Cofagrigus. Cofagrigus was faster, Will-O-Wisp did, and then Pursuit did do nothing after the burn, and it even had a Colbert Berry, so that didn't work out for him. Also, against Blastoise, he kind of in the match he also overpredicted against Blastoise and took some more and let it spin. It could have finished him off with another energy ball, but he kind of overpredicted. Thought, okay, maybe he would switch. That didn't happen. Okay, then there was one thing that was really nice that he had on his team, but unfortunately didn't work, and that was he had a Miltank with Chople Berry on it and counter. So it was to like take the high jump kick from Mega Lopunny and counter back and win it KO. But what happened? He missed high jump kick. There's 10% chance to miss, and most of the time you think, oh no, it misses. I lose a really great amount of HP, but no. This helped Aura really hard, and the coach of the Avalux Draco it did bite him in the butt. So that was really unfortunate for him. And yeah, overall the match he played decently. He just didn't have really a switch for Cofagrigus anymore. At a certain point, it could just burn everything, and then Hex. It was just a bit too scary for him. Also, he did let his Hexorus go down. It was Lumberry, but T-Spikes were set up, so Cofagrigus could burn it then after it was, and it kept Dragon Dancing while Cofagrigus had revealed Hex, and Hex just clean okoed it, so it didn't do anything. And he had the Lando Eye in the back, so why didn't he switch out into Lando Eye on the Will-O-Wisp or on the Hex after? But I think on the Will-O-Wisp, because the Lando Eye revealed to be special. It revealed Earth Power. So Earth Power Lando Eye could really put a stop to that. Cofagrigus was really annoying for his physical mons. But yeah, he didn't do that, and that was kind of unfortunate. So on to, oh yeah, and then there's one other thing. He made one transaction this week. That was because one of the other guys made a transaction, and that set off a chain reaction. And that is that he picked up Mew instead of, I think it was Azumarill. And yeah, Mew is a really nice monster. It's a really great diversity. It could go defense, could go offense, and as his team didn't really have some defensive presence, Mew could provide this a bit for him. Also, Mew has defog access, and he didn't have hazard removal on his team, so that's really nice to have with Mew. But yeah, the loss of Azumarill, it means he has no good priority anymore. He doesn't have a water or a fairy type anymore, and he has now 3 psychic types in Mew, Gothitelle and Alakazam. So maybe thinking about trading Alakazam or Gothitelle away or use a free agency. I think that may be better. And also now his only dark resist is Cobalion, and with those 3 psychic types he also has 3 weaknesses to it. So maybe patch that up a bit. And that's everything I have to say about Evolux. Then we're off to number 10, and that's the West Coast Weavals. He kind of anticipated it already. He said it already to me personally. He dropped 1 place. He didn't play well this week. What did he do? TC is the guy. He kind of underestimated his opponent, which was the Staryu, that was Jake, and he didn't bring hazard removal. And the Staryu team had really some good hazard stacking options, and he used that really effectively. He set up Stealth Rocks, a layer of T-Spikes, and 3 layers of spikes already with the Excelgor. So yeah, also bringing Volcarona and no hazard removal is already a bit weird, and maybe he could he could have brought in Beedrill a bit earlier too, so not almost his whole team would get poisoned. But yeah, I get it, Beedrill is kind of frail, so maybe it was hard to see when to switch it in. And I think at the end he made just a few too predictable plays, and he really needed some plays to come back in the game. So his Slowking, Grass Knotted, I think it was his Slowking, Grass Knotted the Starmie, and that was switched out into Rotom easily. It was kind of to maybe take the hit or even just sack off the Rotom. And if he just had Scalded there, and if you looked at the whole team that his opponent had left, Scald was the better play. It damaged the opponent's team more. It could even get a burn against Starmie if it decided to stay in. And also Klefki went on some point in the match, it went for spikes first, and the opponent still had a Starmie, so it could spin it away. Spikes didn't do much for him, and that was against the Rotom, and later on he revealed that he also had Play Rough, and if he had just Play Rough on the switch, he would have done some nice damage on the Rotom, and I think that that would have been a bit better for him. And also later on he T-waved with his Klefki while there was still Rotom and Nidoqueen left, so he could have maybe just went for a bit of an offensive move or just switch out. It was just a bit too predictable, and yeah, it was unfortunate. It was just unfortunate that the match had to end this way. He also lost the Speedo with Volcarona against Salamence. That was a bit unfortunate, but we've always cleaned up that game in the beginning. But yeah, that was some of the things that went wrong this match. And yeah, he said to me he wants to make a comeback, and he's going to make a comeback. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. So yeah, then on to the next guy. That are the Espions. The Espions are currently now 9 plays, 1 place above, and that's just because TC didn't play that well this week. And he has a 1 loss ratio of 1-0, and you think week 2 is already over. Yeah, some unfortunate things happened with the match that was supposed to happen with the Espions and the Tangela. There was a bit of a scheduling issue, and then they decided on a time, but Espions showed up an hour later, and the Tangela then couldn't battle, and yeah, they decided to just make it a kind of a draw and just like a no result match. And they are in the same division, so they will play each other another time. So I'm looking forward to that match, but until then the Espions haven't played in this league at the moment at all, so I don't have anything to say anymore about them. And then at the 8th place we have the Pittsburgh Pikachus. They won their first week game, and I said then that he did won, but I thought it was more of his opponent than himself. And this week that really proved it, because he lost 4-0 to the Ampharos, and just he made some really weird plays. In the beginning of the match, Crocodile set up a bulk up against Mega Aggron, and the Mega Aggron Dragon Tailed it out. Really good. But then the Feraligatr decided to try to do the same, like D-dancing up on the Mega Aggron. And that was really weird, because the Mega Aggron showed Dragon Tail already. So it was weird from the Ampharos, but what was even weirder was that the Pikachus didn't do anything about it and let it set up and just heavy slammed it and not Dragon Tailed it out. And he didn't do that on the first Dragon Dance only, no, then he took a waterfall and he also not Dragon Tailed then. So he could just Dragon Tail it out, but no he didn't. Mega Aggron died. And then the Feraligatr crit Ice Punch to Gastrodon, so it had done over half while the Gastrodon Toxic did. The Gastrodon couldn't recover due to the crit, that was unfortunate. And he then decided that he would sack off his Amoonguss, which was a weird play because Amoonguss was a mon that really handles most of the Ampharos teams, besides the Mega Pinsir and the Skarmory, but if it had foul play, he wasn't set up for the Mega Pinsir. He even could bait it as kind of that he could think, okay, I set up a Swords Dance on this Amoonguss, it can do anything, bam, foul play death. But no, he decided to sack it, and yeah, those first few turns led to the downfall of the Pikachus. Then at number 7 we have his opponent, the Anaheim Ampharos. They are currently 2-0, but the guys who he played weren't the best guys in this league. Those were the Charizards and then the Pikachus. And yeah, he played, you could think, okay, he got a 4-0 win, I told this, and he played well, but he did set up D-Dances on Mega Aggron who showed Dragon Tail. And that's normally not something you do because you know you get switched out already and it's just taking damage from and you do nothing. But in his case it worked, but that was due to his opponent and not due to his own plays. Then he had the Whimsicott set, a bit of the annoying ass Whimsicott with the Toxic, Leech Seed, Substitute, and it stalled out some monster on the bulky Pikachu's team. And yeah, it also that was nice, and that kind of won him the game from after the Gator made some holes in the Pikachu's teams already. And yeah, then there was one other thing that was a bit weird, and that was with his Crocodile he knocked off Porygon 2, but then Porygon 2 was in EQ KO range, but he decided, okay, let me put up Stealth Rocks here, and so Porygon 2 could recover and was back at a nice amount of health to take hits from the Crocodile. So he could have killed it, but he decided against it, and I don't know why he did this. And we will never know because the coach decided that he wanted to move on. He was too busy with other leagues, and yeah, so we had to find a replacement, and we found one. It's Lance, a friend of the Bishops coach Toby, and he made 2 transactions. He replaced the Dragonite for Garchomp and he replaced the Frogadier for Combusken. So what does this do? What do those transactions do for him? Now, Combusken gives him speed boost. It could Baton Pass some speed boost. Really nice. Garchomp's always nice mon, could go offensive, defensive, a good stealth rocker. And if you then look at his type distribution he had, he was weak to bird spam, but now he has Garchomp. Garchomp is to resist, but Garchomp with Rocky Helmet, Rough Skin, defensive wise, with the physical bird spam, he really could take that really well and counter back. Also, he had a bit of an electric weakness, only Whimsicott and Crocodile, but now he also has Garchomp as an immunity, so that are some really nice things for his team. So I'm looking forward to this new coach, and I hope he does great. So on to the number 6. Number 6 are still the Blue Bishops. He got a forfeit win against the Charizards, against RJ, and so he still is at 6th place because the guys above him did do great or did do well or not, because his only win still is a forfeit win, but I think his team is quite decently, so I put him in the middle. He made 1 transaction. He switched out his Manaphy for Bishop. He thought to himself, okay, Suicune and Manaphy kind of do the same for me. I want a replacement for one of them, and he decided he wanted to replace the Menifee with Bisharp. What does Bisharp do for him? Bisharp is a really good steel type, and his only steel type so far was a Bastiodon. So it's really nice to have another steel type. It's a really scary sweeper. It has stop, step, knockoff. It has sucker punch. It has pursuit access to trap summons. Yeah, it's a really nice summon overall. It also has the defiant ability, so it's nice against intimidate because it then gets the drop but the boost. Also against sticky webs or defog, it comes in and it gets a +2 attack boost, and it gives him another resist to rocks. Also a mon that really can switch into fairies, but it could really hit fairies really hard. So overall a really scary mon to have for his team and his mascot. So I really want to see some action of this of the blue Bisharps with the newly added Bisharp. Then onto the 5th place. In the 5th place there are the Los Angeles Latios, coached by Josh. Somewhere this week it looked like he was going to leave us, but no, he decided he wanted to stay, and we're really happy about it. Unfortunate for him, he lost his week 2 match against the Mighty-Hyenas 3-0, and he dropped 2 places because of it. And he's still at 5th place because the Mighty-Hyenas are a good contender in this league, and he won against Staruse, who's also really a great contender. But yeah, in his team blending he made one fatal flaw, and that is he overlooked the threat that was Victini. He made the Arcanine transaction last week, so Arcanine really could handle Victini to a certain point really well. But no, he didn't bring Arcanine because there were some defensive checks for it, and decided against it. But this way he didn't have a Victini switch in, and it could come in every time and get a kill. It got 4 kills this match. And yeah, the one thing that was really nice on this team was the Greninja. Greninja has really great coverage, that good coverage for the team of his opponent, but the opponent brought an Assault Vest Raikou to deal with it, and that was also really nice. The Clef was really nice with the T-Wave and the Flamethrower to stop the Metagross in its track, but it was walled by Victini, and Victini could just OHKO it again. And yeah, it was a 3-0 win, and it was just a Victini show. Then on the 4th place. The 4th place we have the Toronto Tanglers, coached by my good friend Jeremy. And as I explained with the Espions, he is just 1-0 and his only win is a forfeit. So he has still to play in this league, and I think he has really good potential. He has a good team, but he hasn't played yet in this league. So I dropped him 2 places because some other guys have performed and did some great things, and he has still to show me. And if he shows some great performances this upcoming week, he could easily make it number 1. But yeah, onto the number 3. On the number 3, we have the Marvel Mighty-Hyenas. After losing week 1 kind of badly, his team prep wasn't really there. He played decently, but he came back really strong this week. So, and he beat the previously number 3 guy, the Latios. So he climbed up 2 places. And yeah, I've already talked about this match a bit. It was just a Victini show. Victini show that is a really scary threat. Also, the AV Raikou really put in some work. It Aura Sphere to Steelix on the switch, just OHKO it due to a crit. But it would have 2-shot it otherwise, so it didn't really matter. He thought he could set up agility on the Clefable with his Metagross to kind of sweep through the last bit of mons that were left. But the Clefable T-Waved it, but he decided, okay, with this T-Wave I can still take a Flamethrower and Meteor Mash it to death. But no, he could take the Flamethrower, he was right. And it wasn't even sure that he had it, but he had it. But no, he did got paralyzed. And yeah, then he knew, okay, Victini is the safe switch, let me keep the Metagross in the back. I think this was when he had 4 months left, and then at the end Greninja could come in on the Victini to kind of revenge it, and he decided, okay, let me sack off my Metagross. I could have gone into Raikou, it could take 2 hits, but if he got a crit, the Greninja, as it outsped the rest of the team, could maybe take the win home from the Latias, so he made the safe play, sacking of Metagross, then go into Raikou and clean it and finish the game. That was really good. Great plays from him. Then over to the number 2 guys. On the number 2 we have the Dallas Stars. They won 1 and they showed really a strong win this week against the Weavils. So he climbed up 2 places. He also has a really scary team. And yeah, he really did hazard stack his opponent really well. The opponent didn't bring anything from hazard removal, so that was really nice. He made some really nice plays. Again, the Rotom, a tier 5 mon, really putting in work. It was kind of a more bulky Rotom with dual states at Will-O-Wisp and T-Wave and then Hex. It was really a nice set this week. He saw that Weavile was always his win condition at the end and it would just clean up the game. He didn't risk it. So yeah, it was really nice. I also get why he went into on the Volcarona was in and he had to switch in a Mon, and he switched in the Salamence, and he could have switched in Weavile, and that Weavile killed the Volcarona and cleaned up the game, but he knew in the back of his mind, if the Volcarona was carved, it could be scary, it could kill Weavile, and then this match could go another way. So he knew that, he went into Salamence first, and that was really nice to see him keeping his win condition really well. And then over to the number 1 guys, and I think you all know who that is, and it's still the guy who was there the first after the first week, and that are South Florida Suicunes, coached by my friend Aura. He is now 2-0. He had a nice win against the Avalux. He played really well. The Cofagrigus really put in work. It set up 2 layers of T-spikes at the beginning of the match, as the Avalux didn't have hazard removal. It handled the Escavalier really well. Also, the Kofag was just a pain, and that was really nice to see. And Mamoswine and Megalopin cleaned up that game. So it was really a nice win for him. And he also made 1 transaction, and that was that he got rid of his Mew for Manaphy. And Manaphy is a really scary setup sweeper. So that's the one nice thing Manaphy gives for him. It also gives him another strong special presence. As I was saying in the post-draft power rankings, I thought he had some special presence in Jolteon and some Mons could go a bit special, but Manaphy is really nice as a special hitter. But the only disadvantage this gives him is that he now has a lot of other types. He has 3 of them, the Lantern, the Manaphy, the Blastoise. So maybe using a free agency on one of them, maybe not. So we will have to see about it. Also, he's a bit of fighting weak now. He previously had Mew. Mew could deal with the fighting types a bit better. Now he has 1 immunity in the Cofagrigus and Togetic, who quad resisted, so it isn't that scary, but a bit fighting weak it is. And he also has now 4 weaknesses to grass, but that's due to having 3 water types who all are weak to grass, and he only has 3 resist. So there are some minor points, but overall I think the Manaphy pickup was really nice, a really strong special presence, and overall Mew gave him more utility, but Jirachi is already a good utility mon, and I think Manaphy fits his team even better. So maybe he will stay in first place for the weeks, maybe not. We will see next week. So yeah, until next week I will be back with power rankings, and until then, bye guys.